Jupiter, Saturn. Wow, what a combi. And boy, do they shine up in the sky. Jupiter is big, take care of it, move into the future, let's do it, let go of the old, move into the new. And then there's Saturn. Okay, get grounded, get grounded, get grounded, and then get grounded. So we're zooming on to something brand new. So now we are ready to look up, 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 up. And, Jupiter, Saturn, Jupiter says, hello, I'm here. Hello, I'm big, I'm here, I'm ready. And Saturn says, be careful what you say, because once you open your mouth, you're going to have to fulfill what you talked about. I think on some level that means that, well, it always means if you're not grounded, then we can't really move forward too much because it's all too scary. We have to know that, okay, we're going on an adventure. This is my home. This is my key. I can get back into my house. It's going to still be here. I'm going to still be here. And then I can go off on my adventure and come back, settle in, and try to figure out exactly everything that I got on my journey. And isn't that what's going on with the United States right now? But now Saturn's grounding us again. We're getting a little more grounded. Not that the challenges aren't still there. There's been a lot of confusion, a lot of what is happening, what's going on, where are we going? And so just having it settle into maybe one thing at a time. Thank you very much. So, okay, the Arcturians, they want to say something. Greetings, we are the Arcturians. And humanity, congratulations. You came right up to the edge of the cliff, but you found your grounding. You grounded yourself and you stepped back from that cliff. And we are proud of all of you. And we are sorry that this difficult time has not yet come to its full conclusion, that there's still a lot to move through. So, Danny, would you want to talk a little bit about what we're going to have to move through?
If we take a look at this shift of consciousness that we are moving through, this is a continual process of expansion. And a lot of what we're moving through now is we're releasing the old, what no longer serves us on both a personal and a collective level. And we're starting to see ourselves as part of something bigger. It's not just our story, it's the whole. It's the story of the whole. It's the story of the one. And we are steadily moving into a state of unity. So the division, the separation, the conflicts of I'm right, you're right, all of that polarity is slowly releasing, but that slowness does not mean steadiness. And we can really see that with this chaos that has been preceding the change.
And in America, we've really gone through the darkest night before the dawn, because it was utter chaos. And if it could go wrong, it did go. It was like, wow. That was Jupiter just saying, open it up. Just open it all up. And when you open it all up, then you know what's really happening. Because fear has a lot to do with the unknown. When people are afraid, they're usually because they're afraid because they don't know where it's going or where it came from or what's happening. And for quite a while there, that's where at least the United States was. They didn't know where they were going, what was happening. Now Saturn is going to say, all right, we're getting grounded now. Not enough of this, maybe this will happen, maybe that will happen. Let's create this, let's create that. Let's get it grounded first. So what does getting grounded mean to you, Danny?
To integrate what you're learning, what you're experiencing, what you're doing, what's coming in. That integration is so important, because if we don't have that, then we're just going to be insatiable. We're always going to want more. We're always going to want constant change. And even though that's guaranteed, everything's always changing, we need to be able to slow down and apply it. So that way we can live into the change without having to predict it. And so that being grounded is applying the internal and external shifting into your daily life. So that's not always an easy task. That's going to always depend on the ever-changing moment.
Yes, it's changing. We have all really been working on our adaptability. Also, there's just something really, I'm sure you can feel it, there's something really bright that's like waiting for us. What do you feel that might be?
I feel that in a way, the unknown factor to what's coming in is so important, because that unknown is actually a part of what keeps us grounded. If we can accept where we presently are, then that's how we move forward. And I feel that now that more people are starting to get grounded, like you were saying, and to accept more of, okay, this is my reality, this is how I'm feeling, this is my life. Now we're starting to see that life is not meant to be in the darkest night forever. With darkness always comes the dawn. The dawn always comes. And now that is what we're starting to see shine through. On a personal level, we're seeing the dawn that's coming out of us as we start to align to our multidimensional selves. And on a collective level, we are seeing that happen. That dawn is shining forth like no other. And we might not know what potential or what energy that's going to bring about, but we do know it's going to be for our best and highest good. And we just have to be confident and grounded in that belief.
Yes. And go into that Jupiter of, we could go big now. We can go big now. We've had to like lay low for all of the stuff that's been going on. There's just too many confusing things to try to keep together. Generally speaking, the people at large, they're just holding their lives together. I think that Earth, maybe on some kind of cosmic level, it kind of graduated. You know, we went on to the next level. And not a little graduation, like graduating from high school, then maybe even college. You had all these graduations, and all of the things that you had to learn. All of humans now, they've had to learn a lot of things. And they had to dig down deep inside of themselves to find out, how am I going to get through this? But people, they did it. They rolled up their sleeves and they took care of it. Congratulations, human beings. What do you have to say about that, Dan?
Just being able to see how far we've come, just to recognize that, thinking about all the things that we've gone through, to be here in this moment, right here and right now. And if you're listening to this, the fact that you are here listening, watching this video, doing whatever else you're doing, that in and of itself is an accomplishment. And we need to be proud about that, because this wasn't easy. This was a challenge. If we were to even look at our lives just 1 year ago today, think about the mindset you were in. Think about collectively the mindset and the way we were living our lives. And now, a year later, we're preparing for this whole new year, 2021, this shift in consciousness, and we haven't even seen that, wait a minute, our consciousness all around the world shifted from these events happening. We have lived through this shift. Was it a pleasant shift? No. Is it still happening? Absolutely. But we need to recognize that everything that we've experienced collectively and personally in the last just year alone, this is part of that shift. This is part of that moving into a higher state of consciousness. And this is where we really start to connect with our galactic family and our cosmic origins now that we're starting to really see who we are on a personal and collective level.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're building a 10-story building, you're going to go down into the earth a long ways. You know, if you're just building a little shack type house, that's okay. Maybe you don't even have a cellar and it's still okay. It's just a house. But, you know, in order to build this huge building, then you have to go way, way down to really ground it. And that's what we've been doing. We've been going down into our cellar. We've all had to go down into our cellar. So what did going down into your cellar mean to you? And then I'll say what it meant to me.
It's the storage room. It's like the storage room of the things you don't want to look at, the things that kind of just, you want it out of the way, you want to forget about it. But then you turn on the lights in the cellar and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I need to clean this place up. So for me, going into my cellar was, how can I create a foundation in my life that is built on clarity versus confusion? And so for me, going down into my cellar was cleaning out the skeletons in the closet, really taking a look at what is not working. What have I been hiding from? What have I been burying in this deep, dark cellar? Because I can't build on my building. I can't get to that top story if I don't clean the base first.
Yeah, and this is interesting because I'm going to say the same thing in a different way, because my husband is like super, he's an army brat. So army brats, they know, you don't miss anything, you just take care of it. And so he's been having all of our food delivered. And then he does the soapy water thingy on all the things. And then he takes them down into the cellar where they sit for 3 days or whatever the time frame is. And then after that is over, then we can go down. And so, but for me, it was like, oh, first I can't go there because this is going on. And then, no, I can't go there because that's going on. Just adapting. It's like learning to make the most of what is. And just moving through it. What did you do to move through it, Danny?
I think the starting point for that is exactly what you just said, and looking at what's in front of you. Because how can you move forward and make a change if you don't know what's in the present moment? What's in that cellar? You got to take a look at it if you're ever going to clean it. Otherwise, what are you going to know to clean? You won't. So I think that's the biggest first step, is being able to look at it and then decide from there, where am I going to go? Is this going to stagnate here in my inner cellar forever? Or do I want to open the doors and get some light in here, clean this up a little bit? It's really a choice. And the fact that we have that choice to begin with is pretty darn marvelous to me. So I would say my tactic is just keeping myself grounded and knowing that I am constantly creating. But to keep on creating, I still have to stay grounded and know what needs to be released, what needs to be let go in order for the new to come in.
And for me, I just went to talking to people, and I had lots of privates and lots of people that I talked to, and then they talked to me, and so just the getting in there, the helping in some way, helping, because when you're helping, you're not afraid. You're not afraid when you're helping, because when you're helping, you have to also make sure that other people aren't afraid, in the big picture. There's a knowing. There's just a knowing. And a lot of us had that knowing when we were little kids, and then life happened. And then we lost our knowing because we had to. But now, when you're in your home, and that's all you could do, you just kind of get back to that knowing, because this is something that it's not just for you, and it's not even just for your family. All of these many people, they're all having the same experience. And what a sense of unity consciousness.
What you were saying about unity consciousness, this Age of Aquarius, this is really what it's about.
Yes.
It's about the we just as much as it was about the I. And I'd actually like to ask a question to the Arcturians about this, because Sue, I know you and I have been really feeling, ever since I believe February, March, we could feel like something subtle was starting to really shine through. And I'm starting to get the feeling that this has to do with the galactics. It has to do with our connection to the rest of the universe. What are these alignments? What are these shifts indicating as far as the galactics and Earth goes?
They're preparing for the landings. And, like, let's say you get your Ph.D., and, I got a Ph.D., and so you have to do this whole big, huge thing where you have to sum up everything you ever learned in your whole life and put it together in the proper way with the proper this, the proper that, the proper everything. Hand it in and see if you did all that 4 years of work for nothing, or if you have to do it again, or if it passes. There, our home, our planet, was in grave danger. And if you look back at all the different articles, how many hundreds of articles have there been about the things that have been going on that are very dangerous for the health and the welfare of planet Earth? Because Earth is a being. People don't want to think of Earth as a being, but she is. We, the Arcturians, say that planets are living beings. Planets are alive. And just because that life and that life force and that expression of life may be quite different from the human's expressions of life, doesn't mean that it's not life. The sky is alive, and the water is alive. The humans were once the galactics who came to Earth to be her guardian, to assist her, to help her. But things went wrong. And that's where it started. It started with the fall of Atlantis, because Atlantis was meant to be this really highly evolved society, and it fell. It fell. And then it all began. But we can make Atlantis come back, can't we? We could recreate Atlantis, because it wasn't just a place. It was an energy field. It was a group endeavor. And on Atlantis, everybody worked together as one person. And it wasn't till the end that it fell. I mean, went on for a long time.
It's funny that you refer to it as a collective energy field, because in a way, I believe that we already have recreated Atlantis on a broader scale. And this is where we get it right. If we look at Atlantis and those beginning times, that was like the beginning of the darkest night. And we've been living through that very same darkest night up until now, where here's the dawn coming in. We're not going into another dark night. We have been working through that ever since the beginning, ever since our very origins on this planet. And now we are shifting into a higher frequency, a faster frequency, a higher state of consciousness. And That is the natural progression of life. Now we are in our flow. And on a collective energetic level, that flow starts here in Earth and then permeates out to the rest of the galaxy. So, in a way, it's like we've gotten this second chance from Atlantis to now. And what we do with this chance, with this shift, is what is going to affect so much more than we might be able to think about.
Yes. We, human beings, are meant to be the mentors of this planet. And what if every human being said, I am the mentor of this planet, and lived their life that way?
This actually brings me to my next question for the Arcturians, in that, what does this raise of consciousness mean for the rest of the universe?
Gaia, beloved, sweet Gaia, she has the honor of being a role model of one who has fallen into the depths of the depths and who has risen to the heights of the heights. And that process is going on now. And it's much like Jesus, on the cross and rising above, according to whichever people want to do. I don't want to offend anybody in any of their religious, but that really isn't coming from a religious place. It's more the symbology of letting that which is over go away so it can be reborn. It's actually like the inner doors first. The first door we open is the door to our own heart chakra, into our own third eye. And we learn to seek out to see what we love and to love what we see. And connecting that love with that ability to recognize love and recognize that love could be sitting down and watching a butterfly, or having a dear friend come back into your life after 10 years. It's all that love, that you love something and you want to protect it. We always try to find something good in the midst of the bad, but I've always done that, and it's good, because otherwise you could get just pulled down into the muck, and you have to keep searching for something that's good. But there's something good, because there's always a lesson. There's always a lesson. And there's a lot of lessons. The Arcturians are saying, upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. And you all know there's always an initiation before there's an upgrade. And when there's an upgrade, you can look at the people that are upgrading their cars. There's always upgrades. And in the process of upgrades, they have some downgrades. They realize what's wrong. So part of the upgrade is finding out what worked and what didn't work, and letting go of what didn't work and holding on to what did work. And then you upgrade your consciousness. And a lot of people are learning those things. It will be very different. People will be different when this is over.
From a galactic perspective, from an Arcturian perspective, we see a lot of New Age community people, we could say, they've been talking about this shift for years and years and years and years. And I don't think anyone would have ever imagined that it would turn out to be quite like this in the beginning. But my question to the Arcturians would be, what can we expect from this upgrade in our heart chakras? What can we expect in this upgrade from this shift that we're a part of?
The humans have within them a fifth-dimensional guidance. They have within them a fifth-dimensional stomach, a fifth-dimensional legs, fifth dimensional eyes, fifth dimensional heart, fifth dimensional third eye, fifth dimensional crown. All of the chakras are opening doors to the fifth dimension. And those chakras are right on your physical bodies. And so as you open those chakras on your physical body, what will happen is that you'll start to remember more and more. You'll start to remember a starship. There's a lot of people that are starting to remember about starships. We are really dawning on the age of Aquarius. Believe it or not, we'll start with getting grounded, because being grounded is like turning on the car. And you're not going to turn on the car and hit the accelerator until you're sure that you're not going to hit anybody. You know, you've got enough gas. You have to go by the gas station or not. You know, if you hear any weird noises, you just kind of go through this click, 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 click. You know, is this all working okay? You know, you check things out. You check it out. And then you're not surprised. And then you check it out, and then you find out that, oh, good heavens, look at that. I forgot to get gas. I'm going to have to go right to the gas station the very first thing I do. But if you didn't look, you wouldn't go to the gas station. You'd be in the middle of nowhere with no gas. And so it's that look before you leap. And know that we are the creators of our world. And there's some things that are happening in this world. We don't want to create that anymore. The planet turns. The planet's always changing. And so we get really grounded where we are, but even then, the whole planet's changing. So you don't get to avoid change. If you lived in the very same place that you were born in and you never changed your whole life, it wouldn't be the same, because the planet changed. And we are part of the planet. And this is what the dawning of Aquarius is, that we are part of the planet. We are not separate.
This brings it perfectly full circle. And I'm going to, as always, I'm going to leave it over to you, the Arcturians, to close out this beautiful conversation today. So for the last little bit here, I'm going to ask, is there any messages that you would like to leave to the people listening in regards to the Age of Aquarius, this new dawning? What would you like to leave us with today?
Okay, I'm going to take a moment, because I'm going to really just allow the Arcturians to speak through me. We, the Arcturians, are with you. And just as we have come to many of you, in reality, we have come to all of you. And when we have come to you, we have activated a switch inside your brain and your heart and around your throat chakra, and different places for different people. But we activated that switch. But the switch isn't on until you turn it on. And that switch will activate your reincarnation back into your true fifth dimensional self. Now, your fifth dimensional self has the ability to look in any way that it wishes. So just because you don't have on a spaceship and you don't have I'm fifth dimensional written across it, doesn't mean that that's not a fifth dimensional person or place or thing, because we're all in this beginning. Something is beginning. And that means that something is ending. And the third, fourth dimension, they are ending. And the fifth dimension is beginning. And there's plenty of crossover, so no one will get lost in the midst of it. But it is the now of the one. And think of the pyramids. Think of the pyramids. That was the beginning. And that was the beginning because other beings came. And we are generations after generations after generations of those beings. But now we're remembering where we really are within our true self. And our fifth dimensional expression is grounded in the fifth dimension. And our third dimensional expression is grounded in the third dimension. And our fourth dimensional self has the wonderful duty of connecting the highest with the most grounded. And expanding the love and expanding the light and remembering Gaia is a living being and we are her family.